too. Well, I guess it's alright. I waited my life for a night like this. Stars shine bright when a night's like this. Feels so good to have a life like this. Cause we all saw. And please no pictures where I fuck it out, Paul. I guess we came to have a good time. Me, I came to just shine. Yeah, I'm here to make history. Everybody in this crowd gon' remember me. Cause this is my night. Yeah. You're damn right, I'ma do it just right. Cause I don't really know if this is my last time. But what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here. Baby, I'm a star, and I'm the biggest one here by far.
Oh yes I am. Black Clark Gable, frankly I don't give a damn. If you like it or not, I got my fan base. Playing PS3 all in my place. Telling me, won't you play that jam? Take it to the top, oh yes I am. And the girls love it. Produce that groove for a deeper subject. I need that group to love it. No kissing and hugging, just straight cutting. Just like a rapper. Ain't that something? MC status. MJ in his prime, yeah, I'm the baddest. Pedal to the metal with my pedals in my car. Running red lights, what you expect? I'm a star.
My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here. Baby, I'm a star, and I'm the biggest one here by far. And even in the morning, it's a good day. Can't you see how the sun is on me? We going out today, and baby, it's on me. We going to the top, and baby, it's on me. Cause I'm critically acclaimed, and everybody in the world know my name. Yeah, I'm really humble that you want my autograph. Of course, y'all can take my picture. And to my old friends, I never forget ya. To my old flames, I never get with ya. Cause now I'm a star right in the fast lane. Got a pedal to the metal on the flow. Yeah, I did the most, I'm ready for the show. But you a star too, so just meet me at the door. My life is like a red carpet, yeah, I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. You know, this is my local year, and I'm the biggest star around here. Baby, I'm a star, and I'm the biggest one here by far. And I gotta say that, you know, I don't want to trade my life in for nothing else. So, I guess I'll live like this until I die.
Put your hands in the air, rockin' side to side. I'm out work, yeah, it's time to ride. Where my niggas at? My niggas ain't my niggas no more. Push me to the back, late for the change up swag. I do it for us, I'm pro black. Don't rock it the chic, yeah. Wouldn't be to all type of African shit. Just rock a table fade, swagger till I'm made. Polo colors and fly kicks. Just polo colors and fly kicks. Exclusive shit, I get wig. Keep it coming, just don't stop. The revolution starts with shot.
I'm a spokesman for my people, and I want to represent my people. And I don't want to be a bad representative. I can't be blind, make the blind, lead the blind, they all follow shit.
Now my mama said, baby, act like you got sense. They act like I only act right for Lent. Been living in purgatory, brown nosing for heaven. Not sure if I'm getting in, cause I ain't paid a reverend. Who looking at me when I ain't looking, judging my character? I can't put down my guard on this planet, packing the camera. Ready for my close-up, the lens gets bigger. Won't play me on BET, cause I am not a nigga. My heart is like a powder keg, ready to flow. Smell like strange fruit, cause I'm America's cologne. It started with the hello, think you're a nice fellow. You're ballin' like Carmelo, we treat you like Othello. LARs, we the stars, turn a rapper to a prophet. Bulletproof 306, keep your hands in your pocket. Jordan rules for my life, you contain them, can't stop them. I'm niggas sky high, so the clouds can't drop them. My life is like a miracle, my words are just imperial. I'm edible, I'm audible, I'm digital, I'm visual. Spit like Komodo, go like Bruce Lee, Roy B. And the mean as bad as Mofo in the dojo. Life is so amazing and raps like Jesus. They said hip hop is dead, but today look like Easter.
Salute, and welcome to everybody coming into the chat. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. I'm your host, the Great Black Shark. And yeah, y'all knew I was going to cover this when I saw this. Now, let me go ahead and make it clear at the outset of this. I am not a sports fanatic. I'm not a big sports guy. The last time I probably watched like a serious sports game, NFL, NBA, was probably about damn near 15 years ago. It's just too much. Too many of our brothers in there, man, are just broken. So, for me, I tuned out. But when something like this comes across my desk and I see where there's a teaching example towards it, especially when it's dealing with anti-black racism and white supremacy, well, I got to take it upon myself to cover that. So before we get into that, let me greet everybody that's coming into the chat. I see Sister Kwee, I see Sister Sheena Becerra, 225 Girl, my brother Captain PY2, Voice of Reason for My People, T-Step, RG Titan 901. I see you, Goddess Navi. I see you, sister. So we about to break this down across the board here tonight, and y'all already know how I do it, man. Like I said, you'll probably see a couple other people touch on some of the things that I mentioned after the fact, and that's fine, but I can't let this slide, man, because see, one of the things that we have to do when it comes to young black boys, young black people in particular, rule number one that you're looking at on this screen, don't explain shit to white people. As I call them, the alabaster class, frozen chicken skin. I mean, y'all know how I do it. I got a whole bunch of names for them. I ain't going to even get started with that. So that's what we're going to be covering here tonight. But before we get into that, I want to do something for you, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of you asked me what's the intro songs that you hear me playing. The first one was a song called Red Carpet by my brother LAR Movement. And the second one is called Shots. And I'm going to drop the link to his album that they're off of. The brother has a channel on YouTube. And the album is called Saga of the Kryptonite Life. I tell you right now, if you like good music, you're a hip-hop fan, music that makes some sense, music that you can play anywhere, you don't have to worry about too much stuff in it, man, go listen to that brother's whole album. I'm telling you, man, you can ride on that right there. A lot of good music on there. And the second thing I want to drop in the chat here at the outset, I will drop it again periodically. I want you to sub to my Rumble channel. We need to get 100 subs over there so we can cook with fish grease. I see you, Sister Tasha Peters, coming in. And I also want to make sure that you subscribe to my secondary YouTube channel. We know the games and the shenanigans they like to play. So now that we got that housekeeping out the way, I direct your attention back to the screen, ladies and gentlemen. This rule right here that you're looking at, rule number one, don't explain shit to white people, especially if you don't have to. We got to make that a tradition and a standard amongst our children because, see, if you're going to instill the proper qualities into our children, you have to do it when they're young. You can't wait until they get older and broken like Shannon Not So Sharpe. Because I'm going to get on both of them tonight. Because let me go ahead and make it clear. Y'all already know where I stand when it comes to any type of bed bucking. And, he's on that train. And sometimes he'll talk like he's speaking up for us. But then he'll start the cooning and tap dancing because he was one of the ones criticizing Kyrie, which is ironic with what happened to him because I'm going to break down exactly why he looks like a bigger fool. Because, see, I'm gonna say it again. I have to give our Grandmaster scholars their credit for the things that I know, okay, and the things that we're able to put into practice today to prevent ourselves from being in certain situations or to prevent ourselves from walking about in this American system of white supremacy confused. I'm going to quote Neely Fuller Jr. Don't believe me. The white people will show you better than I can tell you, better than any black person can tell you. We're going to see a case of that here tonight because, see, the way I'm going to break this down, man, I'm going to cover this across the board. Oh, yeah. Salute to you, brother Michael Williams. I see, let me see here. Who's this in the chat? White folk already know. They just came time with. Yeah, I see you, Dr. Sinister. Welcome to the chat, brother. Yeah, we're going to cover a lot of things here tonight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down that entire segment because I saw the little minute clip, and see, this is what a lot of our people do to get hits, views, clicks, and likes, and that's fine. Different people do content for different reasons. But when I first saw that, I looked at it from this point of view, and I hope that I can encourage everybody that's subscribed over here to start thinking this way. When you see a conversation going on like that, you should always ask questions, deductive questions. Say, okay, it didn't just start out like that, because that's the drama part. That's the part that get the quick likes and views. When I first saw that clip, because it was about a minute long, the whole exchange, I said, well, damn, what led up to this? How did it get to this point for him to just go off like that and disrespect Shannon? But Shannon put himself in a place to be disrespected. We're going to break that down thoroughly tonight. But I got the whole thing. So we're going to go over that and then some. So we're going to get started here, because, see, this right here, I'm going to say it again. They can't be allowed to represent us on TV, these butt-broken black dudes. So let's get into this,
Tom
right?
Brady's homecoming against the 49ers did not turn out the way he'd hoped. Brady threw 2 picks, and the Buccaneers' only points, those came in the third quarter, a 35-7 loss. Shannon, what % of the blame does Brady deserve here?
100.
100%?
100% of the blame.
Play defense?
Let me ask you a question.
Salute to you, Sister Erica's Corner. I see you coming in there. So now, y'all already see this is the beginning of that clip that y'all saw. We finna run through all of this, and I'm gonna break it down section by section. Now, before we get started, I have to give a salute to my brother, Professor Black Truth, because as he said, I tend to steer away from sports and stuff like this. The only reason I deal with the politics is us trying to get our tangibles, but sports, religion, and politics, black people in general don't handle them subjects very well. Shout out to you, Professor Black Truth. That's his line, but I agree with him wholeheartedly on that. So this is setting the tone of this. You see, the context is going to be over Tom Brady. So now I'm going to let this play, and then we're going to dissect this, because, see, I'm going to point out something that a lot of people probably going to be too scared to touch on about this, but I'm not. I'm going to go all the way in tonight. Let's let them continue.
How much credit did you give anybody else in those comebacks? You didn't mention the defense. When they held him out of the end zone and they kept holding him to 3. They kept holding him to 3. They got the ball back for Brady. You didn't give the defense any credit then. Now you blame the defense. I knew that was going to come, but I was ready for you today.
Well, you knew it was going to come. How could it not come?
Let me ask you a question.
It was 28-0 at halftime.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, he did nothing. That's exactly right. I'm glad you said that. It was 28-0. It could have easily been 28-28.
What did Brock Purdy do in the first half?
What did Tom Brady do in the first half? What did Tom Brady do in the first half? You do realize when the 49ers scored, they kicked the ball off. They kicked it to Tom Brady. What did Tom do?
Well, he threw a touchdown pass to Mike Evans, but a call back because of a hold.
Okay, did the guy hold? Did the guy hold? Yes.
I'll say yeah.
Now, as y'all see here, what Shannon Sharpe didn't realize was he had no clue the disrespect was coming, because he's coming to work to do his job, which is a sports analyst at this point in his life, right? Okay. Former athlete, now transitioned to sports analyst, okay? And I'm going to make a point about that soon. But see, I have a question for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Why come every time we see this boy, his eyes is bugging? Salute to my lieutenant, Tam Chan. I see you, sister. I see you. Welcome to the chat. I'm glad you showed up tonight. But I have a question. Why is this boy's eyes always bucking when we see him? Big, overgrown, corn-fed Negro eyes just bucking. I mean, he looked just like a modern-day pickaninny where he carried himself. And see, they like that. I'm going to tell you why they like that before we get back into this. They love taking a big, strong, overgrown black man and then just completely willing you down to a flunky. Especially when you start to carry on that mentality yourself. And I'm going to break down what I mean by that, because, see, I'm going to say something. And a lot of you with grandparents and parents probably heard this. You teach people how to treat you. I'm going to let them continue, then we're going to really start dissecting some things.
Oh, you'll say yes. Okay, and that 13-point comeback with under 4 minutes, with 4 minutes left, how much credit did you give anybody else? Did you give the defense any credit?
Sure I did.
No, you didn't.
Well,
no, you didn't.
They're playing Andy Dalton.
Oh, okay. They're playing, don't do that, Skip.
This is Brock Purdy.
Oh, exactly. They're playing Andy Dalton.
His first ever NFL start as Mr. Irrelevant.
So now I'm going to have to give him, Video, hey, DJ, drop the tracks right quick. So tell me who you blaming on this one. I didn't know, is it Todd Bowles, is it the defense, or the...
Terrible pass.
No.
Terrible pass.
What are you calling?
Terrible pass.
Byron Leftwich, what are you calling?
Terrible
Todd
pass.
Bowles.
Terrible
Why
pass.
would you throw that?
That was a terrible pass.
Carlton Davis, what are you doing? Oh, none of those guys are on offense. Oh, my goodness. Oh, his arm. He has lost no arm strength. All he had, Julio had 10 steps on the guy.
And what happened? Boom, I thought it was duck season. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, the Julio pass?
Yeah.
That's in a driving rain when the ball slipped. Well, it did. It was pouring rain.
So what was
the one he missed was the Scotty Miller one. The early one. You got to fixate on that one.
Can I ask you a question?
That was terrible.
Can I ask you a question? So what was Brock Purdy? Did he have an umbrella out there?
No, it didn't rain until the second half. Shannon, did you watch the game? Whoa. You got to watch the game.
I watched it.
Okay.
It was 28-0.
How many passes did Brock Purdy throw in the second half? Help me out. Help me out. How many throw?
Hold on. Let me
three passes.
Let me get my stat.
Now, I'm going to pause it right here for a minute. Salute to my brother here, Project Leroy. I see you coming in, man. Salute to you. And yes, Lieutenant, you hit the nail on the head. Boy, my lieutenant be having jokes. You right. He does sound like Daffy Duck. He really does. I mean, because, like, you know, here's the thing that Shannon Sharpe doesn't realize. See, a lot of people going to miss this, how it led up to this. Family, I'm going to tell you something. See, I grew up here in the South. And one lesson that you always have to learn, and I'm not trying to say other people in other regions haven't learned this lesson, but you learn it very early here in the southern United States. White people are bad about that passive-aggressive disrespect. See, especially down here in the South, you learn to read that early before they even start saying anything offensive. They start trying to passive-aggressively disrespect you. So now, casting aside the bedbuckery and the bookcraft that Shannon Sharpe practices here that I have an issue with, we're going to set that to the side and focus on this issue here tonight. So what he doesn't realize is, see, Shannon doesn't realize, as most of our people don't realize, and I want all of you brothers and sisters to pay attention to this, because whether you work in a regular job, whether you're in corporate America, whether you're a business owner, and you have to deal with these people in the dominant society from time to time, let me tell you one thing that they do not like, and y'all going to bear witness to this. Whatever we do, if we're given an even playing field, we don't just rise to the occasion, we excel. Shannon Sharpe has more charisma than Skip Bayless. And you know what else Shannon Sharpe has over Skip Bayless that qualifies him to be a sports analyst? I have a very smart chat room. I have one of the most intelligent audiences over here on YouTube. I honestly do believe that. I'm going to ask you before I state it. Does anybody know what Shannon Sharpe, the other thing that he has that makes him more qualified to do this job than Skip Bayless? Anybody else know? Salute the brother Nightfall Drop. I see you coming in, fam. Does anybody else know what makes him more qualified to do this job than Skip Bayless? Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Yeah, there it is. I salute to you, brother George Macon. That's right. You damn right. Shannon Sharpe is actually a former professional athlete, one of the best in the game. When you say tight end, his name is top 5. If you're talking top 5 cornerbacks, Deion Sanders' name gonna come up. He's a Hall of Famer. Therefore, combined with his charisma, okay, and the actual experience, let's put it this way, because I'm gonna make this very plain across the board when I get into this tonight. Let's look at it from a business standpoint, right? Let's just say I'm going to turn everybody into this chat into business owners, right? This is what we finna do with it, right? All of you, all 56 of you that I see in here tonight, and everybody coming in, I'm going to turn you to business owners, okay? So now, you want to promote a product, but it's something geared towards people that play football or are current football players right now, whether they're professional or college. If you had to choose between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless to promote that product, who you gonna choose? Which one would it make more business sense to choose, huh? If we going off, you trying to sell a successful product, huh? If we going off of that, who you gonna choose? Shannon Sharpe or Skip Bayless? Which one? Exactly. Oh, yeah. See what I'm talking about? See, my chat room is brilliant. My chat room is brilliant. So exactly. And see, Skip Bayless, let me tell you something about white men now. White boys, if it don't apply to you, let it fly, but I don't care if you get mad. One thing about white men in particular, and I want y'all to look at this this picture here in the center of the screen before we get back to this broadcast, because we're going to thoroughly break down this whole thing. This picture, when they took it right here, right? Look at the looks on their faces. Shannon is smiling. Now, again, bed booking aside, we sitting there to the side for a minute. Shannon is smiling. He's standing upright with his shoulders back. He's confident in his manhood. Look at Skip Bayless. His shoulders are lowered. He's got his arms folded like a little old alabaster bitch. You know, I call them alabastresses. And that look on his face is like, oh, sitting up here with this nigga taking my thunder every week. Oh, I hate it. And you know, he hates that shit. They don't like to be shown up. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. You talking about insecure motherfuckers? See, here's the difference with them. See, when it's two black men that have a problem with each other, or that might be insecure of one another, jealous of one another, hating as we call it, it's different because we don't really have any power to inflict on one another in like a broad sense of affecting one another's employment on a broad scale. But these white men do. So that's the difference with them. Okay? See, and I guarantee you, the problem that Shannon don't have, see, because all of this right here tonight that we're going to analyze, this told me something. And by the time we finish it, y'all probably going to agree with me. What Shannon Sharpe don't realize, family, the disrespect here, this has been building up. See, you can tell when somebody have an issue with you, when it just goes somewhere for no reason. You like, damn, where that's coming from? I want y'all to remember something right now, especially the young people that's making it over to this broadcast and listening to me tonight. When that happens and somebody come at you out of left field and you can't figure out where it's coming from, that's been building a long time. That means every time that person look at you, they see success and they envy it, but they hadn't said nothing to you. See, that's the dangerous thing about white people. And that's why I don't trust them like that, especially growing up here in the South. They always grinning and kikiing in your face like that. No. That smile, see, it doesn't mean what you think it means. That means I'm trying to disarm you so I can get close enough to you to stab you in your back. See, they resent your success. Just look at them, right? I don't know how old Shannon Sharpe is, but I'm pretty sure Skip Bayless is probably not that much older than him, okay? You know we don't age like they do, okay? So now we've all seen the rash of corporate black men banging on these white women because Becky be choosing even when you can't stand them. I don't like white women, but trust me, when you go around and you wear decent cologne, keep yourself in shape, they always be trying to flirt. I don't want them. Go back over there to Brad. But now for the guys that like them, the TJ Holmes, the Shannon Sharpe, the Email Dokas, you can't keep them away from you, okay? You don't even have to be trying that and see the white men see that. So now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a combination of a couple of things. It's probably some white women that Skip Bayless. Oh, I'm going to get deep on this here tonight. We're going to cover all the bases on this. It's probably some white women that Skip Bayless got a thing for that don't pay him no attention when Shannon Sharpe is around. Look at Shannon Sharpe, man. I'm just telling you what the women probably see. They're looking at his broad shoulders. Probably, you know, Becky loved to touch on a black man. Oh, boy, they love that. And he probably done that in front of Shannon with Skip present. And you know Skip, he can't outright say nothing because then it'll out him for what he is. But you know, he probably sit there like, oh, you neglect you. Oh, I can't stand that. Why you always complimenting? So he probably go to sleep pissed off that, okay, you dealing with a black man that's not too far from age than you, and he looks better than you. He's got more charisma than you. The women are noticing it, especially the women of your race are noticing it. You don't like that. So what a person like that, a white person especially, do the men and the women, they going to the people over you. Any little mistake you make, they reporting it. See, this is the sad part about Shannon. He probably really thinks Skip Bayless is his friend until after the night. So I'm pretty sure he probably rethinking it now. But I guarantee you, any little thing that Shannon probably did, he was probably reporting it. And see, black people, this goes without saying, but I'm primarily addressing this to young black people. One thing you better understand when you're dealing with these people in the dominant society, you out here on these jobs or whatever the case may be, the shit that they can get away with, don't you ever try it. Because even if they act like they cool with it and they'll help, they'll even tell you how to do some of that stuff. Let me tell you what that trick is. Family, I'm going to tie the politics into it here tonight. Since we touching one of the taboos, which is sports, I may as well throw the politics in there. Right here in Georgia, when everybody was running around talking about, oh, they flipped Georgia blue, which is a bold-faced ass lie. We see that now. Flip Georgia blue, huh? When you had all these black people helping these Democrats out with their campaigns, they got caught hiding votes and all kinds of stuff. A lot of them people in prison right now and about to go to prison. They threw them under the bus. See, if you doing something like a shortcut or whatever around a group of white people, they let you do it because they say, okay, we needed a foul Negro. Yeah, that's a new term for you tonight, a foul Negro. They'll let you do it, show you how to do it. So that way, if they do get caught, everybody turns and blame the Negro. In fact, they will have shown you how to do it, but they'll turn around and say, oh my God, the big, strong, burly Negro or Negress, he threatened us. Oh, he threatened us. He told us if we didn't go along with it, he's the ringleader, damn it. Look at him, his big black ass. You see how big Shannon is. What are we going to do? See, I'm just using this as an example. I'm trying to show you. They will turn into victims and blame you. And you be sitting up here like, motherfucker, I learned all of it from you. And y'all going to tell, oh, you dirty. So I want you to understand. Don't get comfortable thinking that you so cool with these people that you can do what they do. Because at the end of the day, if it's 12 white people and one Negro and they need to blame somebody, all of them turning on your black ass. You are the foul Negro. Do not put yourself in foul Negro position. So with that being said, want y'all to listen to the rest of this, because, boy, I'm going to tell you something, man. Most black men, boy, this shit right here is going to burn you up, boy. Because, see, I'm going to tell you how I would have handled it later. And salute to my brother Torian Ray coming in here. I'm going to tell you how I would have handled it later, but let's let him continue.
He passes in the second half because he didn't need to throw.
Let me get my stats. So, okay, you said it was driving. So why in the hell is Tom Brady throwing 55 times in a driving range?
Because they can't run a lick.
Now they can't run a
They're
lick.
dead last
So
in running the ball. Dead last in the whole league.
Why was Tom Brady still in the game late in the third quarter, down 35?
You know why?
To get stats.
No, not to get stats, because he's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And trust me, Kyle Shanahan is still sitting over there saying, we got to drive a nail through them. We got to stop this.
Skip.
He's done this 1,000 times.
He's done what?
Come back and come back. He is the comeback king of all time.
What have you, Skip? The man has gotten more than 22 points twice this year.
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt one quick time. Steal that list, man. I can't even duplicate that shit. How in the fuck does he do that? I understand people have lists. No disrespect to anybody that have one. Hey, from time to time, people have speech impediments over here. I stutter from time to time over here at times, okay? But that list like that, Jesus Christ. Steal. Oh, my God, Shannon. But see, family, look, I'm going to tell you something he didn't really catch right here, because, see, this is the sad part about being in the position of some of these black athletes out here, okay? Primarily the young black men. The sad part about it is you have a God-given talent with your athletics, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be, right? But most of your life, from the time that people figured out that you were pretty good at whatever sport that you playing, people will let you neglect your academic intelligence side, okay, your common sense. Now, I'm not saying Shannon Sharpe is a complete idiot. What I'm saying is when you spend most of your life only focusing on that physical craft, you don't develop that mind as much. That's the trap about sports, right? Now, I know we have some very intelligent athletes, but if we're looking at the ratio, it's very few and far in between. All these people focus on is their athletic intelligence, because there's different types of intelligences, okay? Different types, about 7, I think. Give or take 7, 8, something like that, okay? But my point is this. His skill set is mostly his physical intelligence, okay? Put him out there right now. He could coach a team right now with all his expertise, right? So when it comes to that, he's good. But as far as recognizing anti-black racism, white supremacy when it's right in front of his face, there's subtle cues he could have picked up on right here at this stage of this interview. Notice, for one, look at Skip Bayless's body language, and look at how he called out Tom Brady's whole name. See, what you don't understand is, well, what Skip doesn't understand is, because y'all probably get this. What Skip doesn't, what Shannon doesn't understand, rather, Shannon doesn't understand this. To that white man, Tom Brady is another white man that he reveres and worships, because he's a younger white man that represents the standard of white excellence to other young white men. So nothing you say, Shannon Sharpe, at this point, there was no stat you was gonna read, none of that. It's on white and I say so. He's like, you big black nigga, I don't give a damn what you show me. This is Thomas Edward, whatever the hell his name is, Brady. That's who he is. All that nigga talk coming out your mouth don't mean nothing. That's what he didn't see. You gonna see it though. I'm gonna let him continue.
Mm-hmm. Come back from what? Mm-hmm. So here, this is why
you see him against the Rams. You see him against the
how many points
Packers?
did the Rams? How many Rams?
See him against the Saints.
No, I saw him lose against. I saw him lose against the Packers. Mm-hmm. How many points did the Rams have? How many points did the Saints have?
Yeah.
He got the 31 time, or maybe twice this year.
Yep, I got it. Tell me when it's my turn.
I'm gonna tell you, DJ. This is why I gave him 100% of the blame.
Now y'all see that, right? Shannon Sharpe is still stuck in professionalism mode. They're like, okay, I'm gonna do my job and state the facts, make my case on why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like somebody in the chat room said, he's not even giving Shannon eye contact. You heard him like, yep, yep, whatever, yep, So now Shannon still don't get it. And when I saw this, man, I was like, damn, this sad, man. I like, brother, you don't get this early on that this motherfucker is trying to embarrass you. So now I give him credit. He's being a professional. This is his job, right? He's being a professional. But see, I'm going to tell you what I would have did with it, right? At this point, because I'm going to tell you this is the first half of what I would have did. When I started to pick up on that little passive-aggressive, smart-ass energy that the white dude was giving me, I was like, oh, okay, this is what we doing, right? I would have maintained my professional composure, but I would have threw my own little subtle jabs in there with it too. And see, here's where being a good master of communication comes in at, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of you in the chat, especially the men, have probably mastered this. And I know you sisters should be able to master it. If you shouldn't, if you haven't yet, I'm going to tell you this is something you need to practice and work on. See, when I was younger, I had a lot of brothers in my family, man. My father, my uncles, granddad, a lot of my older male cousins, man. It was good with that talk game, man. Oh, yeah, we learned that early on. I have actually a couple of entertainers in my family, but I digress. The thing that we learned, though, as far as communication skills is there's also a psychological manipulation art to good communication. So when it comes to running dozens, cracking jokes on people, the people that are the best at it, if you start up with them, they can have you so mad that you're ready to fight and they hadn't even put a hand on you. You see what I'm saying? That's what I would have started doing with Skip. See, especially when you're around somebody like that and you've known them like that, I'm like, oh, okay, white boy, we going there. I know stuff about you that I heard. I'd have started throwing little subtle shots in on my own since we're going to play that game, right? But see, Shannon, he didn't pick up on that. He didn't pick up on it at all. And see, the only thing that he allowed Skip to do, as you're going to see later, he allowed him to exploit his weakness through his anger. See, let me explain something to you, right? You all know when you come over here and I'm addressing any subject, I try to give you extra information to sharpen your skill set as black people in this system of white supremacy. If you don't have it on your bookshelf, and I know many of you probably do, because I see the way my audience reacts. I say it again, I have a very intelligent audience. If you haven't picked it up yet, I'm going to recommend a couple of books I want you to read, and I'm going to tell you why. I know you're like, how did the books tie to this? Bear with me. You're over here for a reason. You're going to get some good information. First and foremost, I think every black man, in addition to Dr. Neely Fuller Jr.'s work, I'm going to give you some other books I think you should have an extension of that. Make sure you have Sun Tzu's The Art of War on your bookshelf. It's not a very long read, but it's one of the most important books you can ever read because it teaches you warfare strategy. The first rule of warfare is deception, okay? And dealing with white supremacists, you're dealing with nothing but deception. So you need to learn how to understand deception so you can better counter it. Now, if you really want to read a book that teaches you how to deal with white folks so you're not confused, especially how they think about the world and power, everybody knows the book that I'm about to suggest yet. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you start typing it in the chat. I strongly recommend that all of you get the 48 Laws of Power and read that book cover to cover. I'm going to tell you why I say that. If you read that book cover to cover, salute to Solo Dolo, I see you coming in. If you read that book cover to cover, you will understand the basic psychology of how the white man in particular views the world. You see, we look at other people as people. We look at other people as, okay, if you respect me, for the most part, I'll respect you. The white man in general, especially that's in corporate America, okay, they don't look at people as people. They look at people as resources, commodities. How can I use you to benefit me? That's the way they see the world. See, a lot of black people are confused when they deal with them because we be thinking, okay, if I deal with you this way, you're going to deal with me that way. No, the white man is like, look, I will deal with you with enough respect as long as I can get something out of you. In other words, I will tolerate you, Negro or Negress. Don't care nothing about you. If you can't make me XYZ amount of money, I have no use for you. But see, this is alien to Shannon Sharpe because, see, this is one of the most dangerous things about young black athletes. If you don't have a strong family unit, if you don't have a good, strong father in your life, a good family structure to back you up while you engaging up the ladder into in these athletics that you participating in, you get isolated, and most of your trainers are white, most of your coaches are white. Everywhere you go, white. Everything is white. So your mind starts to think, oh, okay, they really like me. I've got these touchdowns. I got these dunks. I'm getting this many points per game. I'm special. They treat me different than you other black folks. I'm special. Oh, and then don't let the Becky start coming over there. Oh, now you don't fell off in some of that little old license fisted. Because you know what? I'm going to behave. You get some of the white women. See, I can't be nice to them when I try. You get some of the white women, and then you start to think, oh, I've made it now. I'm really above you. I'm over here banging the coach's daughter, this, that, and the third. So you get far away from your people, and you don't even realize that you surrounded by snakes. See, that's why a lot of y'all ask, like, why do they coon so hard, these athletes? Think about how their transition from high school sports to college sports to professional sports is. Most of the people that as they go up the ladder, it's mostly white folks. There ain't a lot of folks that look like us that's responsible for their development. So basically what you're doing is you scooping out that black mind and you inserting a pseudo white mind in. And they get to that point where you start to hear so many of them say, you know what's coming out my mouth next? Ain't no racism. Oh, really? I tell you what, we gonna have even bigger reason to laugh at that. Let's let them continue.
Can we get this? And I would need you to bear with me at home because I don't really like to do stuff like this. But I'm gonna just follow suit on my counterpart. Can we get that up on the board? Can we get the quote on the board? Here it is. The level of responsibility that Brady imposes upon himself has always been massive. And this year, he's taxed to the max. One example, on night before each game, Brady runs a separate meeting with the Bucs skill players, during which he goes over game plans, makes tweaks to the assignments and formation, and provides a revised blueprint. One which first-year head coach Todd Bowles, offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich, and the rest of the staff are left to discover in real time once the game begins. If I'm not mistaken...
Are you sure about this report?
Skip, I'm just saying what it was saying. Hold on.
Okay. Now, did y'all catch that? Again, Shannon Sharpe is operating from professionalism mode. He was like, okay, he probably was prepared. Well, he said he was prepared for Skip because he's been doing that job with him long enough. And like my brother George pointed out in the chat, this ain't the first time that he disrespected him. It's just the first time it just got this bad on air, okay? So here's the thing. He came with his facts and his information. I'm not a big sports guy, but that makes logical sense. He's operating from a standpoint of logic. Now, if all of you over here that have been in new black media spaces, you know white supremacy is illogical. They throw logic out the window. It's on white not say so. It's not about how much sense you can make, even if you can prove it. So what? It doesn't matter. You can prove it, but I'm still white and I say so. Look at how Skip was reacting to everything he just read. So now Shannon in his mind was probably thinking that, okay, I know you're going to give me pushback, but surely you're going to see the point that I'm making, Skip, and you're going to give me some type of respect on what I'm saying. You're going to acknowledge that I'm right, okay? Because see, as black men, even though Shannon Sharpe is a bedbug, as black men, how we deal with each other, especially those of us of a certain age, we were like, okay, if I just showed you where I'm right, you should be able to concede the point that I've given you and say, okay, I get it. I have my own viewpoint, but you're right on that, brother. I see where you're going. See, over there on the other side of that table, Skip Bayless, he don't even see Shannon Sharpe as a man. None of them really see him as a man. Why you think early on they used to always call us boy and all that other bullshit? See, I'm going to tell you something. It's a couple words down here that white folks know not to play with black folks with. The N word is one of them. They don't even pull that at concerts that we had down here. Y'all know I'm telling the truth about that down here. Especially you, the further down in Georgia you go, they know what song's not to sing around. You better skip that part of the song. And that boy shit, okay. You already, see, the rules are clear down here where I'm at. We ain't got no confusion down here. They know that if they go to a certain point with us down here and get fly that miles, oh, it's consequences behind that. Oh, it's immediate consequences. Ain't gonna be no waiting. Ain't gonna be no talking. Especially for those of us that are Gen Xers. See, I'm going to tell y'all something, man. One thing I can say about my generation coming up, especially down here where I was, when you was in school, all this stuff that we see happening now, they just harassing people, all this little carrying and all this other stuff going on. They didn't fuck with us like that. We got along just fine. Every now and again, you had a white boy or a white girl get out of line, get that ass tore up. Then the rest of them knew it. That they knew their place. Yes, I'm saying, oh, I know you ain't gonna like it you find it broadcast tonight, but tell me online, white folks, you know what it was down here. You know what it is. If you in Georgia, you went to any high school down here, especially in middle Georgia, southern Georgia, you knew your place. You knew your place. You knew you left that racism at the house because you know we will beat the damn brake shoes off your ass. I'm going to tell you, they knew we were issued the kind of ass whipping down here with all the lights in your head. Like, boy, you done pissed these niggas off. Hold on, I got to hop out your head for a minute because they about to light your ass up. Oh, shit. Lights hop out your head. He be like, boy, why did you say that? Damn. Now, you know I got to hop back in your hair later on, man. You going to have lumps everywhere. The nigga going to beat you on the top of your head and fuck up my little lights nest that I made. You selfish. I'm just saying. The lights would let them know you fucked up. So I'm just saying, man, they knew what the business was down here. I ain't playing. Anybody that grew up down here know what it is, man. So I said that to say this. As we analyze this clip, keep in mind, and I want you to thoroughly look at how Skip Bayless is looking across that table at him. He doesn't see an equivalent as far as a man is the point that I'm making. He look at Shannon Sharpe as less than he always has, okay? So I'm going to let him continue.
So now, every time somebody...
Are you sure about this report?
Every time...
Do you know Mike Silver?
I do know Mike Silver. I know Mike Silver very well.
Okay.
But here's the thing what I find fascinating. Anytime somebody tries to say something that might be detrimental to Tom Brady, you question the veracity of it. Anytime somebody heaps praise on Tom Brady, you never call into question anytime somebody has said something positive about Tom Brady. And I need to know why.
Well, because he's the GOAT. He's the greatest ever. He's the greatest clutch player in any sport ever.
So in other words,
Now, catch what Shannon Sharpe asked him. I need to know why. Because, see, at this point, he still ain't registering that it's not about your job no more, man. It's about race. Skip looked this man plainly in his face and told him because he's the GOAT. He's the greatest athlete ever. First of all, you done lost your mind calling Tom Brady the greatest athlete ever. Are you insane? Now, you can say he's one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks of all time, but I'm going to tell you something about that. See, I'm not a big sports guy, but when I was watching NFL, I know how Tom Brady even got his start. First of all, let's go back to all this greatness we heaping on Tom Brady. Everybody remember how Tom Brady got his start there, okay, when he was on the New England Patriots, okay? Remember when Drew Bledsoe got hurt? Now, I'm not a fan of any of these teams like that, but I do know this much. Tom Brady was on the bench. Nobody heard of that guy. He was a shit player, man. Tom Brady, the only way he got his chance was when Drew Bledsoe got hurt there, and they put him in. You remember that? Because, see, they made it to the Super Bowl, right? And, like, you remember at that point, back then, Drew Bledsoe came back. He was healthy enough to come back, but they didn't put him in at all. So he basically had to sit there on the bench and watch Tom Brady win his Super Bowl. They didn't even let him get in a couple of quarters at all. So after that, that's when the rise of Tom Brady came in. He got his chance then, and he was pretty much watching other people, but, you know, nobody trusted that kid. I was calling him the GOAT and all this stuff. Yeah, I give him credit for the things that he have accomplished, but to say that he's the greatest athlete ever, see, let me tell you something that Shannon Sharpe don't realize, and a lot of black athletes and entertainers don't realize. While you coming at them with logic and you thinking, surely if I lay out these facts, it's going to make sense, white people, especially white supremacists, they take the facts out the equation. It don't matter. White men especially get to fail up. Do you understand me? See, Shannon is criticizing the way Tom Brady was playing in this game, and he's like, okay, he played poorly. Okay, and if you review the footage and everything that he's talking about, he's not lying. It's right there what he pointing out. Skip is like, yes, but that's a white man. We failed up, Shannon, little Negro. The stuff you talking about don't matter. Shannon don't get that. I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to let him continue.
he's beyond reproach in your estimation.
Because I'm not writing them off. You can do all you want.
Skip.
So I need a conclusion from you today. Is he washed?
See,
is he washed?
When you got no retort for what I just said, hold on, let me finish. When you got no retort for what I just laid out,
Shannon, he has the greatest football mind anybody's ever seen. You know what?
Okay, now that shit right there was funny. He has the greatest football mind of anybody I've ever seen. Really? Really? Oh, that's hilarious. See, let me show you something, right? It's funny to me because, like, if you keep your composure and you know how full of shit white people are, first of all, let me tell you how I view it as a man. Just off the principle of manhood alone, if we talking facts and you start ignoring shit, I'm going to look at you as two things. I don't care what color man you are, but we talking about white men right now. If I'm laying out facts and both that we both can verify is true and you start ignoring what I say, in my mind, let me tell you where I put you now. At first, I was looking at you like a man, but I treat you as what you operate like. So if you start ignoring the facts that we both can see, that we know are true, even though we having a debate or a discussion, now I placed you into the category of a child or a woman. But no disrespect to my sisters in here, but these are feminine tactics that Skip is using. So now I got to put you either on the level of a child or woman or both. So now once you've identified yourself to me as that, I'm going to respond to you that way. I'm going to respond to you as a little bratty child that's misbehaving, that needs to be corrected by Big Daddy, okay, Big Black Daddy at that. And then I'm going to respond to you as an emotional, upset woman that needs to be corrected by Big Black Daddy again. But what Skip ended up doing, he let Skip Bayless reverse this on him. He let him turn him into an emotional sounding woman. This was not a masculine display of how to handle no white boy smarting off at the mouth. I would have gave his ass a condescending laugh if I was Shannon. After I read my facts, I'd be like, so you really just go to ignore these facts I just laid out that anybody can see how. Like, you know that you've lost the argument, right? See, sometimes you got to understand, and a lot of women misconstrue this. This is why, the whole Pookie and Ray Ray argument, for the women that it applies to, they get confused and they want to choose the guy that's the loudest in the room. No. Power is silent and quiet. Power is confident. Like I said, I would have gave his ass a condescending laugh and I'd be like, you just conceded my point, man. And I would have just sat there like, okay. I wouldn't have never raised my voice in this situation. I really wouldn't have. I would have just I would have had him the emotional one upset. And you know what I would have did? I would have flipped it on him and been like, wow, you an angry white guy. You turning red over this, Skip. You sit down. Oh, you kind of old, man. I don't want your blood pressure to rise. See, you got to learn how to use that communication skill with psychology, right? That's how you handle these people unless it get physical now. And see, this disappointed me the way Shannon handled this, because I'm like, Shannon, man, you got the gift the gab, man. You sit there bucking your eyes all the time, but you're a pretty slick talker, man. I'm like, how did you let this man take you out of your masculine element like this and have you an emotional sounding bitch? And you did all that huffing and puffing, and he was enjoying it the whole time. Y'all about to see it, though. I'm going to let him continue.
If this report is correct, who cares? He should do that. He should do that.
I thought he would.
Wait a second. I need an answer from you. Who knows more football, Byron Leftwich or Tom Brady? Help me out.
Now who knows more football?
No, well, you answer the question. Answer the question, because you can't. You can't, because it's an obvious answer.
Okay, he knows so much football. Why is he playing so bad?
Okay, because...
Bam! Exactly. Now, see, this is where Shannon could have controlled the entire discussion from there. The question that he asked right then, see, I want to go over this with you, family, so I can teach you all how to do this. When he asked him, okay, if he's such a great football mind and he got all this expertise and he's so good, why he playing so bad? Keep in mind, Tom Brady is 45 years old now, okay? So now from that point, recognize in an intellectual discussion when you have the intellectual leverage, I would have held my ground from there, and every point that I would have built would have been predicated on that going forward. I'd be like, you saw what I just laid out. You telling me he's so great and he's so good? Well, if you got all this expertise, then why are you making all these mistakes? Why are you playing so poorly, not just in this game, but in multiple games? Go look up the Buccaneers record. Like I said, I don't keep up with the sports, but they suck. They're not doing good at all. At all, man. So see, this is why this surprised me, because like I said, I can be objective when I'm looking at things, regardless of what I think about Shannon Sharpe's personal views. I was watching this whole thing when I reviewed it, and I said, damn, Shannon, you really gonna let him get the best of you like that? This was an easy win. He should have been upset. See, by the time this was over with, if he was talking to me, I would have had that white man jump up and storm off the set. Because everything I would have hit him with would have been the truth, and I would have been throwing them little jabs in there where you couldn't really say too much, but you would have knew I was insulting you. So you got to learn how to play the game back with these people in these situations, man. Let's let them continue.
For 1,000 reasons, because they've had no continuity on offense all year long, and for some reason they cannot separate. And their offensive line is a
You absolutely right there, brother Torian Rain. Yeah, like we always call it the Black Bible over here, the ISIS papers. It should be required reading. It should definitely be required reading by all young black athletes. And if you got a young black athlete and you're a black parent, pick that book up and go through it with your son and your daughter and make sure they understand everything. And I had to take time to point that out. Good point there, brother.
shambles. You know it, and I know it.
How many times did he get sacked yesterday?
Can you even name the people that...
How many times did he get sacked?
Okay, here's the stat. Here's all you need to know. He got hit a season high 8 times. All you need to know that he was under pressure 26.4% of the time, which was by far the highest he's been under pressure all year long. How about those numbers? Can you refute those numbers for me?
So let me get you, I want to make sure I'm hearing you correct. Tom Brady has never been hit more in his career, under pressure more in his career, and won a game. Tom Brady, that's what makes Tom Brady great. Through all the adversity, through all the fire, Tom Brady's been able to overcome.
Who has the best defense by far in the National Football League right now? Help me out.
Hold up. So
it's not even close. Did you see what they did to Tua last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Skip.
Well, Brady had a better game than Tua had. Well, he did.
Skip. All I'm saying is this.
See, now, this is another part of this interview that disappointed me about Shannon. Because, see, I'm going to tell y'all something, right? I've been in debates in college. I've been in debates in high school. I was pretty damn good at both. Still am today, okay? One of the things about a debate is, I'm going to tell you where you start to lose unless you do this strategically, okay? I want y'all to pay attention to this. You're going to learn some game over here today. And see, this is something that all black people should be able to master easily because we're very intelligent people. When you're discussing a subject in a debate, always listen to what I'm saying. Do not forget the words I'm about to tell you. Always make sure you pay attention for the opponent that you're debating to try to switch the subject and steer it off into another direction. What I would have did with Skip Bayless when he tried to bring up other shit, I'll be like, Skip, I'm talking about this game. I'm talking about this game right here. I'm not talking about what he did 2 years ago, yesterday, last week. We're talking about right here. He played piss poor this game, Skip. What you did last week don't affect this right here. See, that's what he fucked up at. And look at how Shannon is looking down, right? He's looking down like, damn. Because he don't get that you let the subject be changed right in front of your face. You see what I'm saying? See, you got to pay attention to that in a debate. And now, if you are going to let them change the subject, I'll tell you what you do. This is a technique. Everybody's heard of a straw man argument, but there's also a steel man argument. So basically what you do, if you're going to let them change the subject, when it's your turn to speak, you come back and ask questions and say, okay, so are you telling me X, Y, Z, ABC, 1, 2, 3? And get them to confirm that, and then you hit their ass with your facts that completely tear that bullshit apart. I want y'all to remember them techniques when you engage in a debate with anybody. Let's let them continue.
Yes. Tom Brady had a problem. You said Tom Brady should have had a problem with Byron after Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich comes up with a game plan. And here's a guy that was not in the meeting when they came up with it, come in with his red pen scratching out stuff. Now Tom Brady is not up, because most coaches, NFL coaches, work between 80 and 100 hours in a 5-6 day week. So Tom Brady the night before, he's making tweets when he didn't stay up those 80 to 100 hours. So shouldn't they have a problem with that?
Who do you think watches more tape, Tom Brady or all the coaches?
All the coaches.
Stop it.
All the coaches.
Now, y'all see this part of this right here? Look at how ridiculous this is getting, because, see, at this point, Skip knows that he's got the intellectual leverage over Shannon because Shannon is thinking more off emotions. Shannon is smart enough to have the facts to win this debate, okay? And he could have completely changed the outcome of this, right? And been the one with having Skip Bayless mad. Skip just said something that he know don't make logical sense. He asked him, who does he think watched more tape, Tom Brady or the coaches? Now, I don't give a damn how good he is. You know damn well them coaches watch more tape. So see, this is one thing that I want to teach y'all over here tonight. Don't you ever get into no argument with no damn fool when you know what you're talking about. You don't, look, I'm going to tell you one rule of thumb that I have particularly with women, and I got this from my grandfather. Two places I'm not going to go with no woman when she started getting irrational and emotional. I'm not going to go back with you, and I'm not going to go forth with you. I apply that to everybody. If I know what the hell I'm talking about, I ain't finna go back and forth with you like that. You know why? That's dominance. That's intellectual dominance. That shows have confidence in what you know, what you're saying, and what you're speaking. So all you got to do is stand on that. You stand on that and just maintain your position. And then I'm going to tell you what you do. You let people like that ramble on with the BS, and you say, now, I'm going to tell you what I would have did. This would have pissed Skip Bayless off. Let me show you what I would have did to him, right? I would have said, I'd have turned the camera that's facing the audience or whatever. I said, now, ladies and gentlemen, you see this? This is ridiculous. I just gave this man straight facts. I laid out all out on the table where you can see it. You all saw the games at home. You know what I'm saying isn't made up. This man is acting like a petulant child. I'm shocked and mortified and embarrassed. And this is an embarrassment to my profession at this point. I can't believe that Skip Bayless over here after all this time he's conducting himself. I would have had him ready to come over there and try to swing on me. You understand where I'm going? See, you got to know how to jab them back psychologically, okay? See, I'm going to teach a class on this over here tonight with this. I'm going to break this down and show you every place where Shannon Sharpe could have flipped this back around on him, man. Because that's what he should have did at this juncture of this interview. You sitting there arguing with somebody about something that you already know. You know you right on it. And now he just pulling anything out his little wrinkled up alabaster ass to throw it at the wall and see if it can stick. Let's let him continue.
I'm going to let you do it.
No,
I'm not going to let you do it. I don't care. I'm not going to let you be disrespectful to these damn coaches because you love Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not watch more tape than coaches. He does not. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a flat-out lie.
That's a flat-out lie that you're...
See, now he almost did what I was talking about. He turned towards the audience camera, but he wasn't composed. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a flat out lie. The eyes just a blinking. I'm like, boy, calm down. Save your breath, man. Why are you all hyper and emotional? Because, see, you got to understand how this looks on TV. See, we're going to go into this aspect of it, too, here. Because, see, Shannon don't realize how he played himself. Again, I give acknowledgement to Shannon as a professional athlete, Hall of Famer, intelligent football mind, okay? But, see, what Skip did with him, he knows that Shannon is an emotional man like that, okay? Because being emotional like this in this setting is not a strength, it's a weakness. And I'm going to explain to you why it's detrimental on national TV. That whole angry black man trope. See, let me show you something about white supremacist society that was sitting at home watching this. Even though what Shannon was saying was 100% right, when you start yelling and screaming like that on TV, oh my God, an angry black man. See, you got to understand something. These people, they still see us like the birth of a nation described us. That mindset hadn't went nowhere. That's what they teach to their children, right? So Skip knows that, okay, I'm going to push him into getting emotional because I know the white audience at home is going to see you as a big, emotional, yelling, angry black man. Now, I would not be surprised if after this, when Skip went home or whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if he made some phone calls. Oh, yeah, guys. Oh, God. You seen him? He was irate. He was angry. I was afraid at one point. I don't know if he should really stay on the show. We might should get a replacement. I mean, you saw what he did, right? God, I mean, I feared for you. See, he's a bigger guy than me. I mean, what would I have done if he'd have got physical and wrapped his big nigger arms around my little scrawny white neck? I mean, come on now. DC, what do you think? Think about it. When you see these Karens, what you think they teach their little boys to do? White men are master Karens too. We call them Kens, right? Can't y'all see that phone call being made, right? Can't you see that phone call being made? Oh my God, I was threatened. If this Negro, this big burly buck gets angry, he could have tore up the entire place. You know how they love to exaggerate, and they people pick up on that. They dog whistle to each other like that all the time. But see, I guarantee you, Shannon Sharpe ain't thinking about none of that. Let's let him continue.
Perpetrating. There's never been anything, because you can't stand it that Tom Brady at 45 is still playing this game at a very high level.
Yeah. Do you see these numbers?
Yeah.
These numbers say Tom Brady's not playing at a high level.
I need you.
Your numbers don't matter, Shannon. Hey, you know what? We got the corner phrase, too. Because, you know, old much mouth Shannon over here, It's not Shannon Babble voice reading. It's Shabble. We're going to start calling it Shabble. He got his own language. He's speaking Shabbalese. That's what he's doing. Shannon Babble. That's what that is. Let's let him continue.
Hey, you're in the Hall of Fame because you're scared to death of him because he's haunted you. Time out. Ladies and gentlemen at home, I would like to announce the fact, if you're new to our show, that this man, for 6 straight years on this show that we have been partners at this debate desk, has tried to send Tom Brady home, said he's washed up, his arm is in decline, and he should just go on home. It started the first day of this show in September of 2016, and he has been wrong for 6 straight years, and he's
Damn it, family. Do you see what I described? The technique I described earlier, what I was saying that Shannon should have did, he should have turned towards the audience camera and start making his case. He let Skip Bayless do that first. Now, don't miss this point that I'm about to make about this, right? Skip Bayless, he turned towards the audience camera, but let me ask you a question. Do you know what audience he's talking to, though? He's talking past everybody else and straight to white society, particularly the anti-black racist demographic. See, you better understand something, family. When these people are in front of these platforms on mainstream media, TV, wherever they engage us at, you think that they just talking to people in general. No, they always talking to their people with different little codes. If for those of you that are young people over here, I want you to go through the archives of my channel and find the speech that Lee Atwater gave about the Southern strategy. You better understand that they based a lot of their talking points and mannerisms as far as how they deal with us today across every sector of society off of Lee Atwater's methods. They've just updated his talking points and his methodologies. I'll tell you another person that I want you young black people over here to study too. I want you to study Karl Rove, okay, the Republican, former Republican strategist. Study him, okay. Study the German Nazi propaganda master, Joseph Goebbels, okay. Study him. Study Steve Bannon today. See, let me explain something to you. What I'm doing with this here, I'm covering this because I want to teach young black minds how to think strategically in a system of white supremacist warfare. You study your opponent so that you can understand them. When you see any white person doing this, you learn from these situations, right? So those few names that I just gave you, you study how those, go back and look at tape of how these men speak in public, especially when they're addressing racial issues, okay? Pay attention to how they do that. Start taking notes on the terms they use. Start taking notes on dog whistle terminology that they use. Start taking notes on certain things that they do in front of the camera as far as their body gestures and movements. You can pick up on a great deal like that. See, when you start to really dissect and study your opponent, every time that you face with them in any situation, they can't catch you off guard. Because when you study any opponent, let's bring it back to sports. When you study any opponent, think about it like this, like you studying game footage so that you can learn how to win next time that you out there on that playing field. And as black people, we always on the playing field here in America. It's life or death for us, okay? Even these little minute passive-aggressive things like this can be the difference maker in whether you're safe or not out in your everyday life. You catch up on certain cues, okay? And see, even though this is a harmless debate in a sense, actually it's not. Actually it's not. Because, see, I'm going to tell you why. For those of you that's out here in these jobs working for these folks, you better start picking up on this type of stuff right here, man. It's a lot to learn in this, so we're going to cover all that here tonight. Let's let them continue.
Going to be wrong again. I'm standing by what I say.
How convinced are you Tom Brady's going to win the Super Bowl?
Okay, I picked him to win it. I'm not backing off.
Well, put something on it.
Well, what do you mean I put my pride on it. I put my pride. Who did you pick? You picked the Rams and the Chargers, okay?
And the only difference is everybody knows the Rams are bad, but they don't want to say Tom Brady is playing just as bad as Matt Stafford.
Them off.
Skip, they're in the terrible division. They're in the worst division in football.
Good. Are they going to be in the playoffs? Help me out.
Skip,
I need you to
That's your argument.
Okay,
that's your argument.
What do you mean that's my argument?
Your argument is that they're going to be in the playoffs. Is Tom Brady playing bad? Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, he played poorly yesterday.
What do you mean yesterday?
Okay,
all year.
But you're giving him 100% of the blame?
Because
that's just, you have no objectivity. It's just straight Brady hate.
No, Skip Bayless. No, see, this is what Shannon Sharpe didn't catch, and this was painful to watch. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something, family. Even for a bad book like him, I don't like seeing my people take L's like this. This was a real bad look on national TV as far as how black men handle another white man in an intellectual discussion. See, I'm going to tell you what I would have hit Skip Bayless with, and I'm going to refer back to Sun Tzu's The Art of War. There's a very famous quote in that book, and everybody's hollering about that you want to be in charge, you want respect from women, this or that, this, that, the third. If the orders are unclear, it is the fault of the general. Yes, it is Tom Brady's fault. As the quarterback, you are the leader of the team on the field. Now, you take orders from the coach that gives you the plays, but the coach is a conjunction of this. The coach gives you the orders, and he hopes you have sense enough to making adjustments on the field. So if they failing Tom Brady, Skip Bayless, yes, it is your fault. This is something else too. This transitions from just sports and everything. This transitions over into everything. You all know we all have the term where we talking about somebody's hating on us, okay? Here's the thing. Right now, any one of you, male or female that's in this chat, if you consider the best at anything you've ever done, or right now, whatever you do, there's a lot of people that want to take your spot. Naturally so, okay? But see, what a lot of these people, especially they've gone to the point of being frustrated that they can't knock you off your square, to the point where it gets malicious. This is what a lot of them haters don't understand. Right now, today, if you were to turn around against somebody that's got envy against you, black man or black woman, okay, or anybody, and say, okay, you know what? You think you should be where I'm at. You think you're ready to do what I'm doing. You say you want the crown. Okay, all right, I got you. Here, let me take this off and put it on your head. And you know what's going to happen? See, this is the sad part about a hater, right? Let me break it down to you. If you take your crown off and put it on top of a hater's head, the weight would crush their ass. You know why? Because they're not willing to put in as much work as you do. They're not willing to take the extra mileage like you do. They're not willing to study their craft like you do and innovate at it. They get tired easy. All them times where you don't get tired or where everybody else is sleeping, you up training, doing whatever you're doing, they're not going to put in that work. See, they want microwave success. So a lot of these people that's hating on anybody in any situation, even if you put them in the situation where you're at, they couldn't handle it. The weight would crush them. All they seeing is, oh, it looked like you on top. It looks like everybody respects you. It looks like, oh, you acknowledged everywhere you go. But what about the work that the person put in to get to that point? I want y'all to always remember that when somebody hating on you. And for you haters, you know that's true about you. You want to be in certain people's spot, but you couldn't handle the success if they put the crown on top of your head. You couldn't handle it. So this is the thing that Skip need to understand. Yes, it is Tom Brady's fault. He's the leader of the team, man. Don't nobody make plays over the quarterback. The quarterback issue out the plays that the coach give, and the quarterback can call an audible on the field. So that way, if you make the wrong play, you switch to the wrong move, yes, motherfucker, you call the shots. The defensive lineman don't tell the quarterback what to do. The offensive lineman, the tight end, the cornerback, the kicker, nobody. Nobody tells the quarterback what to do. Now, they communicate about things and they say, hey, look, we're going to need to do this or that. But at the end of the day on that field, the final call belongs to the quarterback unless the coach override that. Now, am I right or wrong, family? Tell me if I got it on base now. Tell me, hey, you absolutely right, Torin Rain. Skip want to blame the N-word and black men on the team for the lot. Yeah, hey, man, I couldn't have said it better, right? So I'm going to let this continue, right? Because there's a lot to catch in this thing, man. A lot of people probably done cover this and will cover it, but I'm going to catch the minute things. I'm going to micromanage everything that I see that a lot of people probably missed about this interaction. Let's let them continue.
Wait a minute. This is just straight hate by a guy who's jealous that he is still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
Skip, that's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No.
Skip,
See, and let me stop it again briefly here. You know what I would have told him? See, at this point, do not lose this fact. Skip Bayless knows he lost the intellectual argument. Shannon Sharpe came with all the proof to make his point. We've seen that. Very eloquently stated, straight, blunt facts. What Skip did, like a little child, he relied on a combination of my white and I'm say so, and I've lost the argument. And most white people do this, black family. You can relate to this if any of you have been in college, if any of you have been in a supervisory position on the job. In any situation where you are responsible for like making decisions and your decisions are the right ones, they'll say, okay, well, fuck it then. I'll just start hating. I'll take my ball and go home and I'll just throw whatever at the wall. See, here's the thing. Skip is doing this. He's taking the personal shot at Shannon, but see, here's how Shannon should have responded. He should have said, yeah, that's right. I did stop playing at 35, like I was supposed to. I'm better than that. I didn't have to play to 45 to accomplish what I needed to in my career because I'm in one of the most brutal, dominant sports on the planet. So you're damn right I retired at 35 so I could hug my kids without being crippled. I would have said, yeah, I'd have started laughing like, yeah, that's the goal. Get in and get out. What I need to be playing at 45 for, Skip. See, he could have embarrassed him if he'd have kept his composure. And see, everybody in this chat room, especially our sisters and our young black people, whether you young boys or young girls, always keep your composure. Unless somebody put their hands on you, stay calm. Practice staying calm. See, anybody that's followed me for any length of time, y'all know I'm a martial artist, a decorated one at that, with over 30 years of experience. It's really hard to get me angry. It is. You know why? Because when you're angry, unless you've been trained to strategically do it, you're not thinking very clearly. Okay? See, the coolest head is the one that makes the best decisions, and you make the best decision when you're calm and you're strategic. See, at this point, when somebody personally insults you, don't be so quick to respond right away. First thing should go through your head is, okay, what all do I know about this person? Are they making logical sense? Where are the fallacies in the argument? How can I blend all this together and turn it around? Can I psychologically manipulate them? Oh, I've started to get you upset. And see, it's easy. I'm going to tell you a tale of this. This is why I love white folks. A lot of y'all be thinking I don't like white folks. Yeah, I do. I love them. You know why? Put a black fist in the chat if you want to know why I like white folks so much. I know you're like, damn, GBS, you like white folks? Yes, I do. I like them. I love them when it comes to them being in a confrontational mood with me. Y'all gonna laugh y'all ass off, but put a black fist in the chat if you want me to tell you why I love white people in the confrontation so much when they start getting smart at the mouth, trying to get sassy and alabastery, and start trying to put a little on white and I say so. But put a black fist in the chat. I'll tell you if y'all really want to know now. Y'all really want to know, because see, it's gonna crack you up. Family, I will tell you, since I see these black fists in this chat, these beautiful black fists, I'll tell you why I like white people so much. Look at Skip. When they get angry, their faces turn red. That means I can easily spot when I'm on the upper hand, especially somebody that is a master of psychological mind games and communications like myself. Family, when I see them little faces turn strawberry red, candy apple red, I'm like, ooh, Cletus, I'm about to have some fun with you, boy. Woo, I got you. Oh, you done fucked up. Them little blue veins start popping out their head. Oh, boy, I be doing the Birdman hair roll. Like, oh, shit, boy. You think you mad? Nah, you ain't even. I'm just getting started with you. I like it when they get mad. So when you see them little faces turn red, know that you finna win then if you just stay calm, though. See, look, check this out, right? A lot of y'all probably be thinking that, well, no, man, they said this or that. I need to get that. No, you don't. Because, see, check this out. I'm going to tell you the sweet spot about staying calm when you're in an argument with somebody. This is the sweet spot about it. If they walk away pissed off and you happy about it, you're still having a good day. Oh, see, y'all got to understand, man. One of these days, I'm going to have to break down this broadcast on good communication and psychological mind games and as far as maintaining power. What little power we can maintain in black society, because we all under the system of white supremacy. They can stroke a pen and change all of that. But as far as psychosocial interactions, you can get the upper hand on these people. Because, see, look, I'm going to go ahead and give you some game here tonight if you hadn't really thought about it that way. Think about this. Everybody that's black that's in this chat, okay? And this is an advantage we have over other groups of people in this country. All right? I got to go here with it. Family, do you know why we really should never lose any type of argument or whatever to these people, and we really will lose competitions other than them cheating? I'm going to tell you why. See, here's the thing about being at the top of a food chain. If you're at the top of a food chain, which they are at the top of the economic totem pole in this country, even though they say it's the Asians, but technically that's white people because they control their economy, okay? But when you're at the top of any food chain, when you're a champion or whatever, if you don't stay in shape, if you don't stay innovating and working out, you get sloppy. And so that competition that's beneath you that want that spot, it's like, oh, boy, I've been wanting to be up there so long. Oh, I can't wait till I get a chance. So now all of a sudden your competition start looking at you like, oh, shit. The last time I saw you, you look like a brick shit house, but now you getting sloppy? Okay, let me write that down. Oh, you done lost some muscle mass. Oh, shit, you're not as good on your last performance. Okay, I'm going to take notes on that. My point that I'm making is this. White people in general in this country, they're sloppy because they never had to do any of the work in slavery. That was our ancestors designing all the buildings, doing all the field work and all of that. Anything that was built as far as the blueprints, we had to do that. When we was coming out of slavery and into Reconstruction, we had all the work skills. Do you understand that, family? Now, you think about fast forward today, it's no different. In anything in this country, man, that we do, whereas black people and white folks, we work twice as hard as them to be half as good. You know what I'm saying? We have to. We have to. Because we're better skilled. We have to stay on it. See, what the point that I'm making, let me reiterate it this way. They're sloppy intellectually, too, because when everything is handed to you, you got a whole system behind you to help you cheat. You don't need to compete. When you don't compete, just like the old saying go, if you don't use it, you lose it. You understand? None of you, beautiful black family, intelligent black family in this chat, none of you, if you study well enough on communication and psychology, you should never lose any of your cool in an interaction with these people. You turn that around on them. In fact, one of the biggest ways to throw them off their square is to just point it out. Be like, listen, what have you really ever done without black folks? Or without anybody around the world? What have they really accomplished on their own by themselves? Because we know what we had to accomplish by ourselves. Oh, we know that. The history is there. Again, why you think they have to make up stuff like Game of Thrones and they get so pissed off when you see something like the Little Mermaid, a fictional character? If you really knew the history of that, they got the origins of the mermaid from Africans, but I digress, whole nother broadcast for another day. They get so pissed off when their traditionally white characters are turned black. Oh my God. See, you defend that kind of stuff when you know you don't have no real history of your own. That's why they so sensitive about that shit, man. Look, they're basically the equivalent of a bunch of little pale emperors with no clothes. Everybody pretending that you dress, but you're really running around naked. They're intellectually naked. They're physically naked. They're incompetent, and they hate to compete. They always see, and another thing too, before I let this play, one of the biggest psychological mind fucks they tell black people is you lazy. They're projecting. They're the laziest things it is. What the fuck do they do without cheating? Huh? Think about the audacity of what we're looking at. We're looking at an announcer that has never played a game of professional football, college football, or high school football in his life, telling a Hall of Famer, one of the best in the game, top 5 tight ends, if you start talking about him, you talking to him like you actually know more than him. See, if he had respect for Shannon Sharpe, even if he disagreed, he would say, you know what, Shannon? We don't see eye to eye on this, but you're a Hall of Famer. Hey, I'll concede the point to you based off the fact that you got more experience in this thing than me. That's what somebody would do that have respect for you if you got that kind of experience over them. So see, I'm just making these points tonight here. All that stuff about lazy, nah, they're the laziest people it is. But see, oftentimes, since we've been told that so much, we don't understand that they're easily exploited that way if you know who you are as a black person. If you know history, if you know whatever craft that you're competing against them in, you can show them up easily, man. Because the only way they're going to beat you is to cheat. The only way you know what? I'm going to say this before we let this continue too here tonight. The only way we really lose against these people is when we all code and we start backbiting against each other. See, that's why I go out my way not to be in no beefs with nobody on these platforms. A lot of people done sent me stuff or folks done said shit. I don't care about that. My mission on this platform is different. My mission on this platform is to educate and inspire my people and to be an example of how to work together on code with people. Even if you have disagreements, find what you do agree on, leave the stuff that you disagree on out the equation because we can't afford to be off code. The one thing that these jokers have that we don't, as far as the dominant society, they have to stay on code. Now, we're going to let this play in a minute, but I'm going to make this final point here. The reason why they have to stay on code so much and they're so good at it, they know everything that I just said is true. They're incompetent without being on the same page and having a system that they can oppress people with and cheat with. Because see, when you know that you don't have no real skills, you know that you're not really that bright, you got to cheat to win. That's your life. So I get it, white folks. I understand why you do what you do. I get it. I just want the rest of my people to get it. Let's let them continue.
Well, I never said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
Skip, what did I got to see what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on.
Now, this is the part right here that I was like, damn, Shannon, you sit up here and let this little old peon get you that upset. Notice the way he looked at him. Put your glasses back on. Basically like a slave master talking to his little plantation buck. Put your glasses back on. He ain't even say it because he was threatened. He was insulted like, how dare you show me any type of defiance, little slave Negro buck? Put your glasses back on. I would have been like, motherfucker, what you gonna do if I don't? Huh? You know what I'm saying? See, Shannon shouldn't have got to that point with this clown, man. Skip Bayless is not a very intelligent man at all, man. See, let me tell you where I would have got him, man. This is where I would have got him. See, I'm from the South. I'm going to show y'all how we get down here, right? If I would have been in his position, this is what I would have did. I'd be like, well, Skip, you know, if you just start taking personal shots, oh, okay, we can do that too. Well, Skip, you know what, really, I was the jock in school. I know what it's like to be popular and well-liked because I'm actually good at something. You know, I can understand if you never had that experience, Skip. You don't know what it's like to be well-liked by all the ladies and celebrated in your hometown because you won the big game. You know, that's an experience. That's out your league, buddy. You wouldn't know nothing about that. See, I would have started taking my personal digs, too. He ain't ready for me, man. Salute to your sister, Nyan Beauty. I see you in the chat there. Hey, family, I got to take the time out before I finish roasting Skip Bayless here. I got to take the time out to salute this sister. She's the one that is hosting the Areta Run event. Okay, and it's coming up soon, family. So actually, I'm going to take the time to drop this information in the chat, man. Follow this sister too, because if you really need like some health advice or what have you, that's the system. That's the sister to go to right here. Go to the website, aretasarsayrun.com. And I want you also to follow the Instagram over here, right? And hey, Sister Kitty, I'm gonna put you up. I'm gonna go ahead and flood you with it, y'all. All your health questions, nutrition questions, vitamin questions, fitness tips, flood her with it. She can get you on the right track. Trust me, she's got a lot of good advice about pharmacy medications or what have you. So these are the people that we have to start uplifting in our community because we have a very intelligent audience over here from different backgrounds and professions. So that's the sister in the chat right there, Nyan Beauty. That's right. She's a shy little sister too. So I'm putting all that spotlight on you. Don't you try to run up out of here. I'm proud of my people over here, all of my brothers and sisters over here. So if I know that you have a skill over here and I see you, don't be surprised if I call you out. I'm going to brag on you. So back to business here. I would not have let Skip took me out of my masculine element like that. I would have started embarrassing him about true facts, okay? I'd be like, my life is different from yours, man. I know what it's like to wake up as a fully functioning, dominant black man. I'm wealthy. I'm handsome. I'm decorated and celebrated. Where are your Hall of Fame trophies at? Have you even won any awards for something, right? As a man, what have you done as a man, not a child? See, it's ways to handle it when people want to get personal and you know you're a winner. Do you understand me? See, look, check this out. I believe in being a humble person. I really do. But when somebody start flexing on you like that, like, oh, okay, hold on. You go in your bag and be like, yeah, all right, let's do that. Let me go ahead and turn the humble switch off and go ahead and show you what I've accomplished. Now you stack your accomplishments up next to mine and let's see if that match. That's how you do it, family. Let's let them continue.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
go ahead.
You disrespect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your dignity.
You disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played.
Now that's the other thing I didn't like that he did here. How you gonna tell me what's beneath my dignity? So catch what he said, right? Because all these words matter, what Skip said to him. He said, it's beneath your dignity. First of all, how you going to dictate anything to me? You not me. I'm me. You don't speak for me, Skip. See, they all do think they speak for us. They really do see us as children, okay? Especially if you don't know how to put them in their place. And then he's talking about, okay, it's beneath his dignity. Why? Because I'm not agreeing with you and kissing ass, talking about Tom Brady is the greatest football player to ever live. Hell no. Even look, put it like this. They played two different positions. Shannon Sharpe, tight end, Tom Brady, quarterback. It's only so much credit I would give you just off professional pride alone. Let's go there with it. I'll be like, yeah, okay. But I'm not going to bow and kiss your ass. Oh, he one of the greatest athletes of all time. How? Shit. So, look, regardless of personal things, you got Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell. You going to say the greatest athlete of all time of any sport? Are you insane? Skip, do you really want to go there with the athletes as far as who's the greatest of all time? Come on now. Man, see, I would have showed out there, man, with nothing but facts, man. But let's let these jokers continue, man.
Game, and it's by far.
Have at it.
Okay,
Take off, bro.
I'm going to have at it because I'm going to have at you because.
Woo, look at him. Sassy look. I'm going to have at you. Watch this now. Watch where he go from here.
What happened yesterday? The Bucks defense was horrendous yesterday. What happened? They win the toss and they defer. Let's give the ball to Brock Purdy so that our defense can go shut him down. And Shannon, what happened on the opening drive? Did you watch? Yeah, I think you probably watched this because you're on the edge of your seat salivating for Brady to screw it up, right? And what happened? They go 67 yards in 5 plays, and all of a sudden I look up and it's 7-0 Brock Purdy. Would you believe that Brock Purdy became the first Mr. Irrelevant to start?
See, now we have got to the end of that. So for those of you that are just joining us, welcome to the chat. Salute to all of you. That was the clip in its entirety where they just took that 1 minute section out and focused on the argument. So now you have seen a thorough picture. And if you just joined us, I broke down everything that was wrong with that. You saw a thorough breakdown of how that got to that point. So now the last thing that Skip Bayless said, let me tell you how I would have handled that if I was Shannon. I would have said, Skip, let me ask you a professional football question, something that you probably don't know nothing about. Do we count results off of what people have done or what they do currently in any sports league? Because the stuff that he did and stuff that he done now with their record the way it is, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's where Brady is at, you telling me that that's success to a coach or a team owner? Would they be happy with his performance? That's what I would have asked him. I would have shut him up right then. I would have asked the audience, would y'all be happy at home if you were a coach or a team owner with his performance? Yeah, see, you always have to stay calm and swing it back to making them look like the idiots that they are because they're pitifully inept. At that point, when Skip started making them points he was making right there, you reaching for anything, you drowning for desperation. You got to pull any little thing out your ass to try to highlight this man when he sucks. He's played bad all year from what the stats say. I took the time to be bothered to look it up. I just didn't include it in the presentation. It's bad playing. It's all it is. Like, why you got to stick up your ass because we telling the truth? But see, we know why. They can't handle the truth. White supremacy don't like the truth. It's like sunlight to vampires. So now, let's pull up the part. Y'all remember this Golden Odie, even though I don't agree with a lot of things he said recently, especially with the Kyrie Irving thing. You know, I got on his ass for all that cooning he did over here on this very channel. But this is how you check a white boy. We got to pull this Golden Odie up right here. And young black people, I want you to study this because regardless of my personal issues with Jalen, he handled this brilliantly. Let's go down memory lane, shall we?
That don't mean you can jack up threes. That's
What
just
were
a
you,
position.
Jalen? What were you?
Where were you? Did you
What
average,
were you?
Did you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
all of that Pistol P stuff, Water, Pistol Pete Jr.
Okay. We'll address that later. We're
Okay.
going to.
Don't ignore that. Did you play junior?
Oh, boy, that just warms my heart, man. Oh, did you see the look on his face? See, that's what happens when you're in command of a situation and you use facts and stay calm. Because, look, most of these people are mediocre at best, man. He lit his ass up. And, hey, I agree with you there, Brother Tori. Yeah, Skip got his sassiness from Roland. Can you imagine Roland and Skip and a sass off? You know what? Look, I just got an image. I'm sorry, y'all. Before I get back to business, it's your fault, Brother Tori. You did it. Can you imagine Roland and Shannon and not Shannon, but Roland and Skip in a tutu and some little ballerina tutus with some palm puffs having a sass off against each other? I don't know. Where do I get these things? But I'm just saying, Tori, this is your fault. You did this. You put that image in my head. A big, fat, pork chop prime rib bastard dancing off against a little frozen chicken skin and whining wimp like Skip Bayless. That would be hilarious. I think they should make a Broadway play about that, man. Battle of the Sasses or something, whatever. But anyway, I digress. That's how you handle it. He hit his ass with nothing but facts and embarrassed him about his little pitiful, I think, college basketball career, whatever that was, water pistol feet. Oh, man, see, the only thing that Jalen Rose didn't do right, and you see, when you get him like that, you got to top it off. This is the icing on the cake. You got to give them one of them condescending laughs. You got to make sure you drop your head with it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the belly laugh. I'm like, water pistol Pete, get out of here. You so cute, man. I'm like, that's hilarious. You little pitiful 1.4 points a game. I'm probably being generous with that. I would have made him so mad because you saw the look on his face. The look. He turned red. Oh, I love it. See, I like getting them upset because it's not hard to do. When you look at how mediocre these people is, but see, I'm going to tell you how they get us, though, family, before we get into this next part right here. They get us because a lot of us buy into the lie that the white man's ice is colder, no matter what. See, they really the equivalent of little puppies pooping on carpet and everybody ignore the poop and just walk around it like it's normal. No, put their shame in their faces, rub their nose in their ineptness and their incompetence. That's how you get them. And I got to give it to you. White people, if you're listening, I will concede this to you. Your propaganda system is the greatest in the world. You got everybody around the world thinking you the greatest thing since sliced bread. You less than 8% of the global population and declining. And you got everybody thinking that you are the greatest thing on the planet. Lord knows, boy, everywhere you go, everybody trying to aspire to be around you or just like you. And despite the fact that you come into their countries and violate their countries, steal their resources, oppress their people, cheat them on business deals, bully them and swindle them out of stuff, you destabilize their nations, yet you still have everybody thinking that you so great just because of the color of your skin? Damn it, my hat, that's some real pimp shit right there. Look, I'm just going to give credit where credit is due. The psychological portion of the system of white supremacy is some brilliant shit, and they know they have to maintain it for dear life. So with that being said, we're going to get into this next segment, right? Because, see, when I went around analyzing this, I said, you know what? Now that I found the whole thing, I want to see how some other brothers or sisters are reacting to this, right? So I found this at random, right? And all of you who are wrestling fans probably remember the brother Booker T. This is the wrestler Booker T from WCW and later went on to WWE, right? Five time. For those of you wrestling champions, y'all get that reference there, wrestling fans. But the brother Booker T was asked about what he thought about it. And he had a very interesting response. And from what I know, I think the brother is from Houston, Texas. So salute to everybody in Texas. He did y'all proud on this response. Let's let him talk.
You're somebody who has sat on both sides of this business, right? You've been a world champion, top athlete in your sport, top 5 in the world, right, at any given time. And now you're able to be a broadcaster and sit on the media landscape side and be able to comment on other people. I don't know. Did you see the issue that broke out this morning on Undisputed? Or it should be yesterday morning on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon?
No.
Okay, they were debating Tom Brady. Do you mind if I show you this clip? Because the only reason I really want to show it to you is I want your reaction as somebody who sat in both sides of the seat. And if you feel like Skip was foul or not for this. So this was again this morning on Undisputed, yesterday morning on Undisputed. Let me know. Can you hear
45
this?
when you had to stop at 35.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No,
Skip, I did what I
never
did.
said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
Skip, what I got to see what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your
you would
dignity.
disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
Have at it.
Okay,
Take off,
I'm going to have at it because I'm going to have at you.
So that was pretty heated exchange between Skip and Shannon over there on FS1 Undisputed. Skip calls Shannon out and says, he's way better than you, and said, who cares about your Hall of Fame induction? I don't know if you had just any kind of reaction to that, being that you have an interesting perspective on this, being a Hall of Famer, a broadcaster, and a top athlete in your day?
Skip Bayless was totally out of line. And the thing is, he's well past, his expiration date as far as being an analyst. He really.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with what Booker T said. See, this is what Shannon should be aware of, this right here. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something I want to see happen, right? When we see instances like this is what I want to see black manhood become in America. When we see things like this in hindsight, we should be reaching out to different brothers, okay? Especially for those brothers in these positions where they own these networks and these corporations. Y'all supposed to be talking to one another, man. I hope Booker T reached out to him and talked to him because, see, we got to start, like, I'm going to say it this way. When anybody in our community, okay, and it would be better if Shannon was on code, but just in general, if we see any of our brothers take a L in public, we supposed to do what the white people do. After that L, we go back and study and be like, all right, hey, bro, look, check this out. This is what we could have improved. This is how you handle this next time. We're going to stand behind you, check these motherfuckers. But look, we don't never need you in this position again on national TV because young black boys are looking up to you. And we're in a time period right now where black masculinity is under attack. I want to see us stick together like that, okay? Because, see, think about it. If you don't think that white people do this, why do you think they always having them Civil War reenactments? They going over them battles over and over again to analyze the mistakes so they can say, okay, if this ever happens again, we practice on how not to have it happen. They go study every minute detail. And if y'all never seen those Civil War reenactments, go and look some of them up. If you ever get a chance to go around one with a group of black people, don't go by yourself, check them out. Just watch them. They take that shit super serious because it's not just playtime for them. They're actually trying to go over warfare strategy and study that. A lot of people miss that. They think this is a bunch of rednecks out there being silly. No. Oh, no. They are going over the historical game footage of their past mistakes. So I'm going to let Booker T continue in this response here.
Yes. He reminds me of, that reminded me of Larry Merchant and Floyd Mayweather. Okay.
Oh, right.
And Larry Merchant retired immediately after that because he was well past his expiration date. And Skip Bayless is well past his as well. And that should sum it up for you.
Yeah, I was.
That's a good point there that you made in the chat room too, Charles Gibson. Salute to you and welcome to everybody that's coming in. You made a great point. Booker T's wall, the imagery of that, because imagery is very important, especially when you're on a broadcast. And I say that to any content creator, right? For those of you that have backgrounds, think about the imagery behind you. Nothing but black heroes back there and accomplishments of himself, right? And the brother here, Mr. Ishmael, you brought up a good point also. And I want ladies and gentlemen to pay attention to that comment. It's called an after action review, an AAR. That is an old military term. That's what they do to study battlefield strategy. That brother pointed that out. He's absolutely right. So I wanted to point that part out right there. And I want you to pay attention to the rest of this response here because he's going to say something very important.
I was very disappointed in that interaction because they're two guys who always seemed like they had a lot of respect for each other.
Well, I mean, you and I, we haven't even had a conversation on it, and we agree on what just went down there. I mean, this dude is, I don't really want to even say what I really want to say about it.
Yeah, it was just very disrespectful, especially somebody, you don't disregard anyone's body of work, let alone to their face, let alone a guy who's in the Hall of Fame.
You know what I had to say, conversation about, when I had a beef with Aaron Hawani.
Right.
I said when Aaron Hawani stepped over the line when he said something about my career.
Right.
That's when he stepped over the line. A lot of times people don't even know when they're stepping over the line. You know what I mean? Just because they think that they're entitled to be able to step over the line. You know what I mean? So, and maybe Skip Bayless feels that way. He's had problems with Stephen A. in the past. He addressed Stephen A. Stephen A. didn't even have I wouldn't say, what word should I use? Stephen A. looked past it to the point to where he didn't even respond to it.
Right.
Hey, see, Booker T didn't want to call Stephen A. coon. I wish he would have said it, but the point that he made there, these people in the dominant society will feel entitled to disrespect you if you let them treat you that way. Okay, and we all know the problem. Shannon Sharpe sat there and let himself be disrespected like that a number of times. And see, whether it was just the personal disrespect, let me make this point right here. And Shannon Sharpe, this is what you did. You, Charles Barkley, even though Jalen Rose did check Skip Bayless, I'm naming all the people that jumped on the get Kyrie Irving bandwagon. When they see that it's so easy for you to get up on national TV and go against your people like that, you give them a sense of entitlement to disrespect you because you just another nigga. They're like, oh, okay, I'm sure not going to respect you if you don't respect your own people. I'm going to give you this analogy too, family. I want y'all to really study this, what I'm about to say. This applies to also a snitch. Think about how the mafia looks at a snitch. Yeah, they'll use the information that you bring them. Sure, they'll use it. But they're not going to trust you because they're looking at it like, yeah, you gave us this useful information, you snitch you, but hell, them your people. If your own people can't trust you, we damn sure not going to trust you. In fact, once we finish with you, we gonna off you and give you some cement shoes here, so make sure you don't turn on us next. See, that's why there's no retirement plan for a coon. So when you start disrespecting your own people in front of these folks on these networks like that, that's how they're going to look at you. They're going to be like, okay, hell, you don't respect your own people, I'm not going to respect you either. You teach people how to treat you. I'm going to let them finish.
You know what I mean? So let's just say we know exactly what's going on with Skip Bayless.
So now, we got to the end of that clip right there, right? And you're right, yeah, Project Leroy and Shaq too. Oh boy, we can't forget him, man. So I wanted to take the time to break this down and thoroughly go through it and point out all the different little passive aggressive things that Skip Bayless was doing. And notice this. One thing I want to make sure that you young black people that find this broadcast learn about the psychology of white supremacist disrespect and anti-black racism. It starts out with passive-aggressive disrespect. If you don't check that, then they get overtly aggressive and get downright disrespectful. Because, see, one thing about a Karen and a Ken, because I'm going to put Skip Bayless in the Ken category, they build their confidence and their courage up because they have a mortal fear just being next to us anyway. They really do. I mean, just like in a close vicinity, they be intimidated. So the passive-aggressiveness is to help them build their confidence up like, okay, if he tolerates this, I'm gonna go completely across the line. And it'll get so bad that they'll actually put their hands on you if you don't hold frame and check that shit from the jump. See, that's why I don't play games with none of them. I don't let them get smart at the mouth. I damn sure don't let them put their hands on me no kind of way. Because see, if you let them get away with a little bit, it builds up over and over and over again till they get to the point. And I'm gonna throw this in here too. We all remember what happened to big old overgrown Buckenstein, Terry Crews. Got to the point where, hey, you got a white man walking up, grabbing your Johnson in front of your wife. It don't get no more disrespectful to that. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's one thing if it's verbal chicanery and back and forth. You put your hands on me, especially like that in front of my wife, I would snatch that boy's arm out of his socket, man, and folded his ass up like some origami artwork. They wouldn't have been able to identify his ass, man. In front of my wife? Oh, nigga. Boy, listen, you know what? Let me remain nonviolent and peaceful as I close this broadcast here tonight. I got to do it, man. But, hey, I got a treat for y'all over here tonight as we get ready to wrap this up because you always know I throw some humor in here. I got a good song that I want all black people in this chat that tuned in and live or recorded. I got a good song that I want you to understand here. And we got some people from the animal kingdom going to sing this song. So without further ado, we're going to let it play, man, because, see, y'all might have to sing this song to some people sometime.
See, the first problem was you tried to take my kindness for weakness. Took me for granted, not knowing all the while I was letting you dig a deep hole for yourself. See,
I let you dig that hole, I really did.
You just a taker, not a giver. So it's time for me to say, be gone, cause you got me fucked up.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you got me fucked up.
Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up.
Throw your lighters in the air.
Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up.
Like you just don't care.
You come up in my crib and you smoke up all my weed. You dented up my ride and still ask me for the keys. I let you use my credit card for some emergency, and now you got excuses about why you can't pay the fees. You always you loose cause you be stepping out of bounds. You got me fucked up. 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 Now baby doll, here we are chilling on the third date, and it's obvious to me that you ain't giving me no play. You've been scrolling through your phone pretty much throughout the day. Now I think it's only fair that you should pay for what you ate. Nah, don't look surprised like you didn't have a clue. You probably running this game on at least a dozen dudes talking about get my head down, take me on a cruise. Time to split, that's what you get for trying to play me for a fool. You got me fucked up. Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up. You got me fucked up.
Got me all fucked up.
Got me fucked up. I'm telling you. It's Rizzo, baby. Got me fucked up. I just wanna know. Got me fucked up. How did you think you was gonna play me? Me?
How did you think that, Skip?
Got me fucked up. I'm Rizzo, baby. I can't be played. Got me fucked up. Try to play me. You just playing yourself. Got me fucked up.
Playing yourself.
You sure enough got me fucked up. Big on.
Big on, Alabastrous. Oh man, you know I like to throw a little bit of jokes in here, man. We have the serious subject matter, but hey, family, look. All jokes aside, I hope everybody was able to get something out of the broadcast, especially if you're a young black person. You was over here tonight. I hope you studied this and you got something out of it. Get the book, The ISIS Papers, by our Queen Mother, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Get Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Study that diligently. Get The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Study that also. Get Neely Fuller Jr.'s work, The United Compensatory Concept Counter-Racist Code. Okay? Study these things because, see, in order to counter the system of white supremacy and racism, you have to make sure that you feed your mind, okay? You know how people say you are what you eat? Well, you are what you think. And so you become what you feed your mind, ladies and gentlemen. So as you all know, Aretta Susse is coming up this month. I'm going to put the information for our sister Dr. Kenny's event here, the Aretta Susse Run. I want you to go over there, sign up for the event. You can participate virtually. We got people actually I saw participating from Alaska, right? See, we on code around the world. So follow the sister on Instagram also, right? So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for all of you joining the broadcast. Salute to everybody that donated and contributed. Even if you contribute after the broadcast, what I do, unless you request to remain anonymous, I will list your names on the community tab. I appreciate all of my subscribers over here. Make sure you follow me at all the links in the description. Go to the About section. Make sure you follow the Rumble channel. We get 100 subscribers over there, and we going to be cooking with hot fish grease over there on a regular basis. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, salute to all my powerful, intelligent black family in the chat. Black first. I will see you all in future content.
There are a lot of misconceptions about Maroons. Typically in literature, whites will say that the Maroons were uncivilized, they were unorganized, they were lewd, they were barbaric. These were the people who lived in the bush.
There is no other group on the planet Earth that have taken on the devil the way we have, in his own house.
Some estimates say that there are about 50,000 Maroons that you can find per year throughout the Americas.
The Great Dismal Swamp was an area between that Virginia, North Carolina, the eastern border area. This was a popular area for a lot of not only runaways, but natives. A lot of the black natives hung out there. The Gullah Geechee were known in that area.
Because that's who we are. You can put us anywhere in the world. We are survivors.
If you are really tapped in with your environment and you become one with that ecosystem, right? You know what I'm saying? That ecosystem begins to work with you.
We were robbed of our definition of who we were, which is our nationality and our tribe. And we fell into the description of what we were from someone else's eyes.
Resistance is not just about not only violence, and physically fighting back. But there has to be resistance literature, resistance language.
A whole 2 detachments of U.S. soldiers got mowed down by the Black Seminoles. They destroyed an entire U.S. military force. Out of 110 people, they killed 108. That's damn good shooting.
The Black Seminoles were using all types of guerrilla warfare tactics, and these warfare tactics are studied in military schools to this day.
They didn't like Muslim slaves. The same reason they didn't like Indian slaves, because they weren't afraid to die.
Once you realize you're not safe, your children and your families aren't safe. The people who you're bringing in the world are not going to be safe long after you. There becomes a need to stand up and survive at all costs.
We are the Maroons. We are today's Maroons. We are the force that's moving forward. We will never be stopped.